We got a few clips coming up. This first one is a doozy. Buckle up.
There's a woman, she wrote into our show rather, that she and her husband, they're approaching their 5th wedding anniversary or I guess marriage anniversary, sorry. And she said, life together is good, not perfect, but they make ends meet. They work hard. They have a modest lifestyle. They have 2 young children, ages 1 and 4. Recently, she discovered something that she describes as shocking. Her husband's card and comic book collection, something he's guarded since they met, is worth $2.5 million. He's been collecting for over 25 years, a passion he inherited from his late father, and he still holds on to some of his dad's collection. When she brought up selling it, thinking of all the ways they could improve their family's life, he refused, saying the collection isn't about money, but more so about emotional value. To him, it's a legacy he plans to pass down to their children. Now she's struggling with reality that they're sitting on a fortune, yet still living paycheck to paycheck. Should she accept his emotional attachment, or does he owe it to their family to cash in? What would you guys do? Is he being unreasonable, or should sentimental value come before financial security? I'll go last.
Okay, so according to her, they're living paycheck to paycheck. Not like they're behind on finances.
She said they live modestly, they make ends meet, but from what I gather, it's like maybe there's not a lot of cushion.
So not struggling.
Right.
Not like struggling paycheck to paycheck, but not, she could be doing, or they could be doing better.
Right.
Okay.
I feel like in that case, there can be a compromise here. I think she can leave that man alone until they come to a point where they're struggling, so that he knows that when that time comes, he's going to have to give that up. But for right now, she could leave him alone with his sentimental value.
And his dad's dead, so that's...
Yeah. She probably just came across the value of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking she just found out how much it's worth.
Women love to live on somebody else's shit, bro. This is fucking crazy. I just don't get it. I mean, my thing is, that collection is his collection, passed down from his father. Also, in addition to whatever he's been able to acquire, although they're not struggling, they could live better. They could be thriving. But I don't think that he should sacrifice it right now. Don't make no sense. He's going to sacrifice it. My thing is, one, you were cool until you found it. Like, there was no fucking issues, right? Now you find something that is his, that is worth some money, and now you want for him to cash out so he can, I guess, provide more.
That's the sentimental value that's going to be passed on. So now you're basically taking that away from your kids.
But to play devil's advocate, at some point the shit got to get sold.
It would really be up to him and like having a desire to do more for his family, having a desire for his family to,
That's where the clip ends, but basically I'm sure she was going to say, you need to sell the shit. Whatever the case may be, listen. What this really comes down to is this is not your shit. This is not your shit. Dude in the glasses, he usually be on chicks' asses. He was really trying to hold back, bro. You could see it. That's how come you seen the pause. That's how come you seen the hesitation. It wasn't him trying to figure out a better way to articulate it or nothing like that. Or no. He probably had some shit to say. But we're going to start here as far as, sentimental value. I don't even want to use those words. It's a legacy. It's a legacy. Sentimental, of course, because it's passed down from his late father. But even if you take the sentiment away, even if you take that away, this is actually something that his dad began, that he also carries on. He is more than likely passing this passion for comic books down to his kids. And he is going to, one of them or all of them are going to inherit his collection as well. When it comes to selling it, that's another thing. It should be his sole decision to sell it. If he decides that it is time to sell the collection, it should be his sole decision. It shouldn't come because of pressure. It shouldn't come because of pressure of them living check to check and then them getting $1 million. This is the thing about getting $1 million as well. So boom, they sell it, they get $1 million and stuff like that. The funny thing is, You have to remember, this is his. This is his, and it was his dad's as well. In her mind, she is probably plotting and thinking of plans about what they are going to do with the money. And I'm going to tell you something. Are you ready? If they are living check to check, I guarantee you it's not a bunch of responsible shit. I guarantee you it's not but I'm thinking new house, new car, we get a new neighborhood, and that's going to be like the top. We just going to blow a bunch of it out the gate, if not all of it. And the reason I say that is because when you look at lottery winners, the majority of lottery winners go fucking broke. You know why? Because they didn't have to become somebody different to earn that money. People who earn, and this is another thing, I'll give you a good example. But let me finish that thought. I have an issue, and I apologize to y'all as viewers. I cut off my own thoughts a lot. But what I was going to say before I get to my example is people who earn their wealth. People who have to earn their wealth, especially if you weren't a Nepo baby and you had to earn it from scratch and stuff like that. You got to fail a lot. You got to go through, you got to gain a special set of skills, a special set of knowledge. You got to fall a lot, blood, sweat, and tears. You appreciate it more. And even then, you know how to fish, so you could go and get some more money because you had to build up a lot of skills and a lot of knowledge to get to this point where you're getting the money anyway. So even if shit crumbles down, you could get to that point again. You could get to that point again. Now, what I was going to say as far as the example, when you look at NBA players specifically, what you have to understand is, yes, they are millionaires. Yes, they put in a lot of work, but they are not entrepreneurs. They are not entrepreneurs. Let me explain that for you very quickly. When they are in high school, they are working on basketball skills. When they are in middle school, they are working on basketball. Guess how much they are getting paid for working on those basketball skills? Absolutely fucking nothing. Unless there's like a legal booster that is throwing them some bread on the side and stuff like that. Which at high school, LeBron, he had like a fucking Jeep or something like that, a G-Wagon, an Escalade, something. You could go and look up the car, man. He had that shit, and they was mad that he had that shit because it was a clear sign that somebody was spending money on the kid and stuff like that. But anyways, they are not really getting paid directly off of their skill. They're not having to fail in the process of making money and then, okay, so this is not working. Let me calibrate to get this to work. No, they calibrating is, okay, I scored 12 points tonight and I'm supposed to be averaging 30. I got to analyze this game to figure out. That's a whole different thing. Because what they are doing, they are learning how to play a game to where they are entertaining people, right? And the people who are in charge of the NBA, as far as the owners who are entrepreneurs and the GM and the organization and stuff like that, David Stern, Adam Silver, the people who run the whole league, those people are throwing the millions at these guys, right? They're throwing the millions at these guys so that they can come and entertain people with their skills in the arenas that they set up, with all of the arena staff and stuff like that they employed, with the coach that they employed and all of that stuff. Now, these guys may get into different entrepreneurial endeavors, but this is the point. NBA ratings being down is not a player issue to where the players have to figure out what's good. No. That is an Adam Silver, the fucking guy who runs the whole league, the commissioner. That's the title. That is a commissioner issue. That is a front office issue to where they got to figure out how to get the employees to do what they are supposed to do. So they are just $1 million employees. Now, why did I do all of that? Why did I just go through all of that? I know we talking about like men and women and stuff like that. The reason I went through all of that is because guess what happens when these guys who didn't have to earn that money start to get money? Man, so many players have stories about their rookie year, from Nick Young to Lou Will to what it's another one, man. I forget his name, man. It's a bunch of guys who got stories on YouTube about blowing their rookie checks, blowing everything, just losing it all, just blowing and they just had to wait until that next payment. I think even Gilbert Arenas said, he did that. So these are guys who are just coming up on money that they are not used to. Number one, they're not used to this money. And number two, that they didn't have to earn through a process of business and trial and error to where they actually have money making skills within a business. So we just went over lottery winners. We just went over NBA players, and you could say that about all professional athletes, to be honest. So when we go back to this, how am I going to expect a woman that, first off, I don't even expect him. If he decided to sell it, I don't expect him to just have the plan on what to do with the money. But how would I expect a random wife to have good plans for money that she didn't earn? But not only that, but is not really her say on whether this shit gets sold or not. Like, who has no attachment to this shit getting sold. Like, if it gets sold, like she would be so happy to have that shit out of her house, because the longer it sits in her house, the more upset she's gonna get at not being a millionaire off of his shit. Now, if you are a woman, and some men may even be thinking this, you've heard me say his shit quite a bunch. And you may be thinking, well, they're married, so what's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine, and we are a union, and everything comes together, and da-da-da-da-da. And shit like this is why I really don't believe in that wholeheartedly. We could get into all the divorce stuff and stuff like that, but we just gonna pretend everything is harmonious. I'm not even gonna get into no men need to lead stuff or nothing like that. Certain things should just be off limits. I know married couples who be like, you can't drive my car. And it be the woman. Dude gotta eat it. It is what it is. You're not gonna see them talking about that on no podcast. I'm not mad at couples having a joint account as far as a married couple, but I am also very for them having separate money to some degree, because I really don't care about the circumstance for the most part. Like, yeah, there should be a certain amount that both of us put into the pot and da-da-da-da-da, but I shouldn't get questioned about me spending money on certain stuff, and I should be able to save my own money. I should have some autonomy as far as the money that I am breaking my back to earn. And I'm not mad at the chick having some of that either, because you got to remember, we as men really don't give too much of a fuck about what a chick spends her money on. So do I believe in the whole union thing? Yeah, but like, come on, man. Come on, man. It can't be everything to where you feel like you got to say in me selling a legacy. Now, this is the other thing, and this is going to be the last thing that really disturbed me. Like, this is when you hear dudes all over the internet saying the juice ain't worth the squeeze. You just seen, I did a video where the chick was like, only 3/4 of her face was showing, and she's saying like, you need to listen to, somebody who's a sociology major, because there are studies that show that men in marriages are more happy and blah blah blah, all that shit. They are living check to check, right? They are living check to check. She is not pondering, like, that's no part of the question. Like, how can I get my money up? How can I get my bag up? Because at the end of the day, it's not a woman's job to provide or to bring any money to the table. And I just got done saying men don't really care about what women spend their money on. But that's the whole point right there. Like, it's not about anything with her. This guy is supposed to be the guy who steps up and gets more money and et cetera, et cetera. But they are living check to check. So it's a bad status quo for her as a woman. Nobody wants to live check to check. But if anybody on a planet is going to hold anything against anybody for how they're living, it's going to be a woman to a man. A man is not going to say, oh, man, You know, my roommates, man, we live in like nobody, no man is gonna join income with anybody else other than a woman, and even then, most men is not gonna complain about what a woman got going on financially. Even if we are splitting bills or whatever the case, man, dudes are not gonna be like, yo, you gotta step it up. You gotta step it up in most cases. I keep it a G with you though. I did do the video from the the one of them chicks, man. I forget her name, Estelle, something like that. But she was doing the 50-50 debate is over. And these chicks did the experiment where they said they couldn't make their part of the mortgage, right? So they couldn't live up to their part of the agreement as far as what was going on. And these were wives. So when they did that, the husbands were like, yo, you gotta get your part of the mortgage. You gotta put in some overtime or something. If you don't got it, you gotta make that happen. So in situations like that, dudes are concerned with what's going on with the chick money because they came to an agreement and she can't live up to her side of the agreement, and they live in check to check and stuff like that. So I could see that happening, and I don't really disagree with them being on that. But again, it comes down to, the guy needs to step it up. He needs to get more money as far as this specific situation, them living check to check. He got to get more money. Da, 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 da. So in her mind, she's holding that against him to some degree. She didn't say it in the message, but the fact that she is pressed that he needs to sell his shit, that's where this is coming from. So I say all that. Let's go back 5 steps to where we began to get to this part of the segment where I said, you listen to all these people say that, oh man, men are so happy in marriage and single guys die so lonely and you should get married and be happy and shit like that. The nature of women, even the women on the couch, they didn't give a fuck about this nigga's sentiment. They didn't give a fuck about this nigga's legacy. They didn't give a fuck how he felt about his comics. They didn't give a fuck. It was just something to mention because at the end of the day, he said, listen, if we keep struggling, which let me tell you something, if they're living check to check right now, they're more than likely going to keep fucking struggling. The economy is not a good economy. That's number one. Number two, she didn't mention anything about them going to school, getting a different trade, getting in a new career field or nothing like that. She didn't mention anything like that in the message. So it's hard for me to assume that, yeah, they just going to start getting more money and he going to get a promotion at his job. We don't even know what the fuck he do. They're living check to check. They're living fucking check to check, bro. So the likelihood of them coming up in 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 years, like I don't really see it unless a drastic change happens or unless he guns for that promotion and the job has, promotions available that pay significantly more to where and they're actually promoting people like him. And that's the only way things are going to get better because I don't expect them to get better through a leech, which is his wife. I'm keeping it a bean with you. But the woman that you see on the screen, she said, yo, he could have that for now. He could have his dad's collection for now. We will leave it alone for now. But if things don't get better, we're going to have to revisit this conversation and basically pressure him to sell his shit so that his family could live $1 million lifestyle for 2 years. So that they can get that money, blow it, and then go back to living check to check because that's what the fuck happens. And it goes back to what I said earlier. This chick doesn't have a grand plan for the fucking money. She gonna buy her Amazon and Shein carts. That's gonna be the first thing that she do. We go fucking clear out that Amazon cart where she been building up like $8,000 worth of stuff in that Shein cart and that Amazon cart. She gonna get all that stuff. Y'all gonna have feather dusters for weeks stocked up in the garage. But it's gonna be the new garage that you get in the new house, y'all. It's gonna be that. That's what's gonna happen. But that's what it is. I don't know if the video is gonna come out before or after this, but when it comes down to being a man, I said this in the Anton Daniels video where they was laughing at the dude crying. You're not allowed to feel shit. You're not allowed to have any emotions. You're not allowed to have any sentimental value. You're not allowed to be attached to shit. You're not allowed to do nothing. You just got to be a stoic man. You got to provide. You know, she gonna test you and do the, oh baby, what's wrong? You could open up to me. She gonna do all that shit, right? The moment you open up, it's over, nigga. It's over. I done seen chicks say like, yeah, you could open up, but you can't do too much. You can't do too, because then it's gonna be like, all right, now you complain. That's when they start throwing solutions at you in the middle of your event, and they just start throwing solutions at you because they don't want to hear this shit no more. They don't want to hear this shit no more. They view that shit as weakness, and they absolutely are disgusted by and despise weakness. So when she is looking at, when these women hear that, wait a minute, you know they're not in the comic books at all, man. You ask them to name the Avengers, they like, shit, fucking Batman, Spider-Man. That's what the fuck they'll probably say. Even though these motherfuckers got all types of blockbuster movies for all these superheroes and shit. But listen, they don't give a fuck about no comic. Them chicks on the couch don't give a fuck about no comic books. And niggas probably don't either. But everything about what the one chick said is just a farce. Even how the other chick was preparing what she was about to say, it's all just bullshit. Well, he could keep it and da-da-da-da-da. But if we keep struggling, if the shit is fucking worth $2 million or however many millions it's worth, we just gonna throw out $2 million. If it's worth $2 million, if they are living check to check, there's no way it's gonna get better to where she looks off $2 million, an instant $2 million. There's no way that happens. It's no fucking way that is ever going to leave her mind, no matter how good they are doing. You want to know why? Because it's never a fucking enough. When we talk about women, it's never enough. It's never enough. Why do you think these billionaire, bruh? Melinda Gates used to be shitting in 4K. You can go and see that shit. Melinda Gates used to be shitting on Bill Gates, man. She used to be shitting on Bill Gates. You see a chick like Scottie Pippen's wife. Well, why you decide, you know, all the way this long after he been retired and stuff like that to just start being a hoe and just like it's Scottie Pippen. So he still has a lot of wealth. So he just not enough. Like the wealth is not enough. It's a bunch of examples. I can't really think of too many right now, and I'm not trying to keep this going, but it's a lot of examples to where, okay, if the richest dudes on a planet couldn't keep their babe, if they couldn't keep them, like, what chance do you have when we talking about this money shit? And that's how come I preach, you don't lead with money. And it's got to be something else there, man. It can't be just the money. And money is going to be an issue if you're in a long-term relationship regardless. That's me keeping it a G with you, but I done gave this clip enough life. Only reason I'm about to react to these next clips is because I told you we had some clips, but this shit, it just got me tied up. So we going to go to the next clip.
My name is Jubilee. I am 25 and I do have OnlyFans.
What got you into it?
I lost my grandpa. He's very close to me. I kind of want to go with his legacy and I kind of want to do it for him.
Boy, Elroy! How's that legacy of yours?
These OnlyFans chicks be comical, man. Like how is selling digital pussy doing anything for your grandfather's legacy? It's actually very disrespectful, but I'll tell you something, man. It's a chick. Her name is like something like Amelia Cabela or whatever the fuck her name is. I've been seeing her so much, but it just takes so much for me to not react to what she be having going on as far as that OnlyFans chick. Because she got like, and it's all like little clips. And I've been contemplating putting it together, but she be interviewing her brother. Her brother is disgusted by her. Her brother I ain't gonna say he be getting bullied, but he be getting made fun of because of his sister and stuff like that, being a mega OnlyFans slut. And she got at her personal assistant and all types of stuff. So it's I really don't like her, but it's a lot of stuff going on with her to where if I did a reaction, I really have to put some clips together and really have to get it together. But there are other women as well who I got shit saved of and not no fucking porno, but the clips. It's other chicks who I can't name, who they dads. Their actual fathers support the hoeing that they doing. These are not men. These are not men. So on one side, you do have like, some debauchery as far as like these fathers or these male figures condoning the fuckery that these chicks are doing as far as the OF chicks. But then on the other hand, this chick is Asian. It's hard for me to believe that an Asian parent or grandparent is accepting digital twat popping as a career. It's hard for me to believe that.
It's possible that one or even all of you women here are going to marry a billionaire. It's possible. I don't think it's probable.
Who are you to say?
Yeah. Right, F you.
You know what? Let's do a wager. I'm a betting man. I will give you $100,000 if any of you marry you'd have to prove it, a provable billionaire. But if you don't, you have to pay me $10,000. Who accepts my wager?
Oh, she does. Oh, she does. Oh.
Okay, so I'm going to draft up a legally binding contract that you're going to sign after the show. So here's the wager. If you marry a billionaire within the next 5 years, I pay you $100,000. If you don't, you pay me $10,000.
Well, let's get on the phone, girl. Do it for the team.
Let's shake my hand.
No, thank you. Show me the contract.
Right.
This is a contract. This is
not
legally
legally
binding.
binding, no.
It's not mutually agreed.
Offer acceptance.
You guys go ahead and you guys shake
I'm ready.
hands.
Period.
Shake
I'm ready.
hands.
You're too far away, so
No, you're not.
I don't. Be careful.
See, that fat one got wild delusion. And I'm not, but you're being fat phobic. Oh, you're fat phobic. Fat is in the fucking word. Fat is in the word. The fat shaming. Fat is in the word, man. She's fucking fat. But anyways, they don't got $10,000 to give nobody. So that's just too risky for any of them to sign up for, except, Fatty McFadams. She wanted to do that. But this put their delusion to the test. They are not that delusional. If he had to bet him something like 500, that would have been more realistic, because that's like anybody could go and get a $500 paycheck or something like that. He didn't have to do 100,000 either. He could have did 10,000 for himself or 5,000 for himself. He could have did that, because right then it's more realistic. As far as, you being of course he could pay the 100,000 or whatever, but 5,000, it's like, that's an easy 5,000 for you. Who's going to turn down 5,000 if you really believe that? And if you lose, all you got to do is give up 500. Why not do that? Now, this is the thing. I'm going to keep it real with you. This is just like some, dumper advice and, my philosophies and beliefs, some shit you're not going to hear nowhere else. When it comes to money, and some of this applies to how I operate with dudes as well. If somebody come and ask me to borrow some money or something like that, if it's a dude, I give them whatever I'm willing to part with. And I may tell them to pay me back. I may not tell them to pay me back. So it can be a gift, or I can check to see if you are actually a man of integrity and see if you'll pay me back. But whatever I give you, I'm comfortable with losing. So there's going to be a different threshold. I'm not going to give specific guidelines, but if it's like you want to borrow $5, have the $5. I don't care. You want to borrow $100? All right, here you go. Pay me back when you get a chance. I'm not about to press you for the money or no shit like that, but pay me back when you can. If I can come up off that and I'm cool with losing that, the way that it works is if you don't pay me back for that 100, I can't fuck with you on any level no more, because you don't have integrity. Like, you don't have integrity and you never was for me. So it just costs 100 to get you out of my life. That's what it is. I'm not lending a guy no 10,000, 5,000. No, you just can't get that off me. It's too risky and it's too much. I don't care what you're going through. I'm not your savior. So you can't get that off me. Only people who could get that off me is people who have been proven over time that I could trust. So that's with men. When we get to women, it's a whole different It's a whole different thing, and I'm gonna tell you why. Let's go down to like the $5, whatever. If I give you $5, it's the same thing as a guy. You can have it. It's a gift. When we get to something like, and this is hypothetical, the $100 or whatever, I, under no circumstances, am going to ask a chick to pay me back. I am not going to ask them to pay me back. One or two things is happening with that. It's similar to the $5,000 tier, like with guys and stuff like that. And all of this is hypothetical. This is not really, I don't really have a set amount in my head. But when we get to that, it's like, yo, am I comfortable coming up off this money for this person? Am I comfortable giving this money to this person, depending on our relationship or whatever the case may be? So am I comfortable enough to give it to them? And do I feel good enough about them to where it won't bother me? And this is the thing. This is when chicks ask me for money. In most cases, I'm not giving a chick shit. I'm keeping it a being with you. I can't recall, and this is me being, I'm in my 30s, bro. I don't know if I ever gave a chick $100. I don't know. That's me being so real with you, bro. That's me being so real. I don't know if I ever gave a chick $100 myself. But I've given some chicks some money, and I done paid a couple phone bills and stuff like that. I'm not about to get on the internet and cap to you niggas, bro. It's real life. So the way that I look at that is, okay, we went through all the criteria and stuff like that. This is the last thing. If I give you that amount of money, it is a gift. Two things I don't expect. I don't expect to get anything from you as far as any sex or nothing like. I don't expect to get nothing from you. So I'm comfortable giving it to you knowing that. And also, I don't expect you to pay me back. And this is when the chick is asking me like, oh, man, you know, my house just set on fire. I need some place to stay, man. Could I get 80 for a hotel or something like that? Some bullshit, right? Because their house be just fine. They're liars. And that's exactly why I don't try to set chicks up to where it's like, well, you got to pay me back. If it's something to where I feel I need to be paid back or I need to receive something, they're just flat out not getting it. And the reason is, I don't think women have integrity. They don't. So that's just one reason. The other thing is, if I do feel the need to press them, I cannot press them like I press a dude. You just can't. So why would I come up off my money thinking I got to do some enforcer shit to get my money back? It's foolish. So whatever money I give a chick at any point, it is a gift to where I don't expect anything from them or out of them. Because the truth is, they don't have integrity. When you put yourself in a position where you expect a chick to live up to her word, in my experience, I've found out that most women's words mean absolutely nothing. And after figuring that out, you know, through experience multiple times, that's when I began to understand, like, when you hear stuff like, oh, all I got is my balls and my word is bond and stuff like that. And, you know, all this honor shit, you know, men of valor, whatever the case may be, all of this honor shit and code of ethics and code of honor shit is man shit amongst fucking men. It's men shit amongst men. Women have no code of honor or ethics or anything like that. They go to the salon and talk about their best friend's autistic son to everybody. They talk about, you know, they fucking best friend or they sister, baby dad beating them up. They'll talk about all the gossip. They'll go and spill all the tea and shit like that. They go and spread, like, bruh. It's so much shit that women do on a regular basis that lacks any integrity that they, as a group, condone from other women and will actually do themselves. And I'm not saying this like they're not a bunch of rat ass motherfucking dudes, like some fucking worms and weasels and stuff like that. Of course there are. But once we see certain shit, most of us don't accept them. Most of us don't, especially if it's in a group dynamic. But all of that doesn't matter because when we look at a societal thing and it's global from society to society, the code of honor and ethics is typically amongst dudes, and a woman's word don't really mean shit. So why would I put myself, especially after experiencing it multiple times, and then also noticing, wait a minute, all these codes and stuff only really apply to dudes. And then also just internally, like, dudes take pride in being stand-up guys. You've never heard of a stand-up bitch. You've never heard of a stand-up woman, man. You've never heard a chick say, I'm a stand-up woman. Like, you've never heard that shit in your fucking life. You've never seen it on screen. You've never seen it on fucking on social media. You never seen none of that shit, bro. That's reserved for men. So why would I put myself in a position to where I gotta find out if a chick is about her word or not, knowing that most women have no code of fucking ethics? Like, why would I do that? That's a gem for you for today, but let's go back to the Whatever podcast and Brian and all of this stuff that he got going on. Yeah, the delusion is strong. None of those chicks are getting married to a billionaire, and probably because the lights were hot and the mic was on, Biggie McFadams, thought that it would be a good idea to shake on that. Brian is also smart because he said, I'm going to get a legally binding contract that you could sign, and that's what it would take to get money from a chick that lost a bet like that. Because again, no integrity. But I'm done, man. You get the point. Beating a dead horse, man. Y'all have a good day.